The results are in, and you just can't afford to purchase the home at the price point you truly desired. Now what do? Well, you wanted to buy a house, but now it looks like you just can't buy what you really wanted. Maybe you wanted to buy a house, but now it's looking more like you can only afford to buy a townhouse, or you still can get into a house, but it's not nearly as big as you wanted it to be. Or maybe you're looking at buying a condo, and the only thing that you can get is an apartment condo. You get the idea. Either way, if you've got this problem, you know that it can be quite disappointing, and it can take a little bit of the excitement out of buying your first home. Now, you could hold off on buying a home altogether and just save up money, start saving more money each month, maybe paying down debts, perhaps looking to increase your income so that you can eventually one day purchase the home that you really wanted. This is an obvious option that some people do decide to go with, but it can still have a lot of uncertainty involved, especially if you're betting on increasing your income. Everyone's situation's a little bit different. So some people, if maybe they have a little bit of debt that they could pay down, and that would make a big difference to their debt service ratios and therefore allow them to purchase significantly more. Someone in that situation, it might actually make sense to go with this option because now you can just wait a little bit longer, pay down some debt, and then maybe that'll solve your problem. For a lot of other people, it's a matter of their income is just not high enough, and they would have to save a lot more money to have a much bigger down payment to actually buy something closer to what they wanted. So a lot of people, this isn't really an option that works well for them because they're going to keep renting if they do that, and it could be a process that takes years. Now, the other option is to still buy a home, but just not buy what you originally had in mind. Maybe now you're downgrading to a townhouse instead of a house, or something a little bit more modest than what you originally wanted. It's in this option that I hope to give a little bit of insight and perspective that might make it a little bit more positive for you. Maybe I can provide a little bit of light at the end of your tunnel. Now, assuming this is your first home purchase, you could look at this as your first real estate investment. You're making the big leap from being a renter to being a homeowner. And as soon as you do that, a portion of your monthly payment goes to mortgage paydown instead of just being rent that you're giving to your landlord. That means each month you're actually saving a bit of money because you're paying down your mortgage. Whereas if you continued renting, all of that money is gone and you don't see it again. This first home purchase could be a stepping stone for you to get into that larger purchase in the future. And there's a few different things that could cause that to happen. Number one is mortgage paydown, as I already mentioned. This will allow you to save money each and every month so that 5-10 years down the road, you'll have more equity in the property, even if the value of the property doesn't go up. Second, depending on what you buy, there could be opportunities to increase the value of the property. If you bought a home that could use a renovation and you're a little bit handy, maybe you do some of the work yourself, or you do it slowly over the course of several years. This could allow you to add value to the property over time so that later on, when you're ready to buy the home you really wanted, you've got more equity in this property, so if you sell it, you've got a bigger chunk of cash. Or maybe you could actually keep this property as an investment if it's the type of property that could cash flow and make sense long term. If that's the case and you hold on to the property as an investment, it could be the beginning of you starting to grow real estate wealth. There's another possibility that could be a solution for you as well, and that has to do with the financing. If you went to your bank and they're the only place that you've checked, you may want to consider working with a mortgage broker to see if they can come up with better options for you. Or maybe you've got a close family member that can co-sign with you. Sometimes getting a co-signer can make the difference between purchasing what you really want and purchasing something that doesn't work for you. Obviously, everyone's situation is going to be a little bit different. And depending on where you live, it's possible that what you can afford to purchase might actually be unworkable for you or your family. Like if you needed 3 bedrooms, but you can only afford to buy something that's a 1-bedroom. In that case, you might have no choice but to continue renting or relocate to another area where you can afford to purchase something that will suit your family. Sometimes this can be overcome just by looking at a longer commute or something that's further outside of the area than what you originally had in mind. Maybe you were looking for something central, but now you can move to the suburbs, or maybe you can actually look at moving to a small town or acreage that's still within the same general area that you were looking. Often these properties get a little bit cheaper, and this is a common strategy people use. They find out what they really wanted to buy and where they really wanted to buy it is a little bit too expensive for them, so they look further away until they can find something that can work for them. This won't be the solution for all people though, depending on where you work and what you need to be close to, and just what the price point is and what you're looking for. Sometimes it just doesn't work out. but this is probably the most natural thing that most people gravitate towards before they look at buying something smaller or of a different class than what they were originally looking at. I hope you guys got some value from the video. If you like this content, let me know, give me a thumbs up, share it, and if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you can see new videos I put out in the future.